Hello friends, I'll continue with the same topic, Introduction to Partnership and Partnership Final Account. In the previous lecture, I had explained about the need of preparation of final account. In that, I explained why final account are prepared and how final accounts are prepared. At the same time, I also explained the content of final account, that is preparation of trading account, profit and loss account, capital account and balance sheet. Now in this lecture today I am going to discuss about the various formats of these accounts. That is, we will see the format of trading account, format of profit and loss account, format of capital or current account and the format of balance sheet. Hello friends, now we'll see the formats of final account. We are having four formats. One is the format of trading account, another is the format of profit and loss account, next is the format of capital or current account and the format of balance sheet. Now let us see the format of trading account. In trading account, at the top we are writing the name of the firm. After that, the heading is trading account for the year ended 31st March so and so. Sometimes we are using combined heading for trading as well as profit and loss account. In that case, we are using the heading trading and profit and loss account for the year ended 31st March so and so. Now, I am going to explain separately the trading account, profit and loss account, capital account, current account and balance sheet. Now we will see the trading account. In trading account, on debit side, we are recording all direct expenses, and on credit side we are recording all direct incomes. Direct expenses are also known as factory expenses and direct incomes are also known as factory incomes. On debit side we have a first item, opening stock. Opening stock is the stock of goods at the beginning of the year. Below that we are writing net purchase, that is purchase minus purchase return. So outer column we are writing net purchase of goods. Then we have a carriage. Carriage means carriage on purchase of goods. So carriage on purchase of goods and carriage onwards. These three items are one and same. Carriage means charges paid for the road transport or carrying the goods from one place to another place. Next is we are having wages. Wages are the labor charges. Then we have wages and salaries. So the proportion of wages are more as compared to salaries. So we are having a combined heading which is known as the wages and salaries. Okay. Then we have a productive wages. Here the word productive is clearly mentioned. So productive is related to factory. That is a direct wages. So it is appearing in the trading account. Then as we saw the carriage, we are having a freight. Freight is also carriage expenses, but it is for water and air transport. Freight inward and carriage on freight. These three items are one and same. We are paying this freight for purchase of goods or for import of goods. Now we are having an import duty. So import duty and custom duty, both these duties are considered as direct expenses and are charged to trading account. Then we are having dock charges. Dock charges are paid to the dock authorities. Then we have royalty on purchase or production. So royalty on purchase or production is the charges that we are paying for use of patents, copyright, that is the intangible assets. Then we have clearing charges. Clearing charges we are paying to the agent for clearing the goods in case of import of goods. Then we have work manager's salary. Now here the word works manager's salary is given because this particular manager is working in the factory. So whatever amount we are paying, that is related to the trading account. Then we have power and fuel. Then we have coke, coal, gas and motive. These are the charges paid for energy. Then we have a factory rent. We are paying factory rent. So that is our direct expense. Factory insurance, that is for insuring the goods lying in the factory. And then we have consumable stores. Consumable stores are those raw materials which we are buying and which is for use in the business. The example of such consumable stores is oil and grease. And then at the end, we are having gross profit. That is the difference which is appearing on the debit side of trading account. Okay. And then we are doing the totaling here. Now, on the credit side, we are having sales minus sales return. That is the net sales we are recording in the outer column. Then these adjustments, good destroyed by fire or theft, good distributed as a free sample, goods lost in accident, goods withdrawn for personal use. These 4 adjustments, they are coming by way of adjustments. So they are from the adjustments. That is, it is referring to the outflow of goods. That is the one effect of these adjustments. And then we have a closing stock at the end of the year. And the difference on the credit side is a gross loss, which is carried down to profit and loss account. Okay. So the trading account is giving us the idea of gross profit or gross loss, which is transferred to profit and loss account. Now we'll see the next heading, that is next format of profit and loss account. Here also, if we are showing it separately, then we'll write the name and then we are writing the heading profit and loss account for the year ended 31st March so and so. On the debit side, if suppose in trading account we are having gross loss, then we will transfer it on the debit side of profit and loss account. If we are having gross profit, then we will transfer on the credit side of profit and loss account. Then we'll continue with our normal items. So here we are having a formula of the bad debts, which I already explained, or I'm going to explain in the adjustments. And there is another formula of discount allowed, which also I'm going to explain in the adjustments. Now we are having salaries. Salaries are the indirect expenses. They are charged to profit and loss account. Then we are having salaries and wages. Then salaries and wages, in this the proportion of salaries are more as compared to the wages. So that is also charged to profit and loss account. Then we have unproductive wages. So whenever we are given the word unproductive, then it is to be transferred to profit and loss account. Then we have some normal items like printing and stationery. These are all office and administrative expenses. Printing and stationery, postage, telephone charges, mobile charges. Trade expense is also related to office and administrative expense. Then we have a legal charges. Then we have a showroom rent. Showroom rent is related to sales. And all the sales and finance expenses are recorded in profit and loss account. So we are having next item is bank charges, which is a financial expense, and it is also charged to profit and loss account. Then we have sundry or general expenses. Then we have rent, rates and insurance. Rent, we are paying rent for office, or the rates, that is the tax that we are paying to the municipal corporation, and the insurance is the insurance premium that we are paying for insuring the goods. Then we have interest on loan. If you have taken any loan, then we are supposed to pay the interest. Then interest on capital, this is the interest given to the partners. So in this case, we'll be writing interest on capital, partner A and partner B. Same way, if salary is given to the partners, then we'll write 2 salary to partners, partner A and partner B. Then we have a depreciation, which is a non-cash expense. This is out of the adjustment of depreciation. That is this is the one effect in the profit and loss account. Then we have a go down or warehouse rent, which is related to sales. Okay, so warehouse rent, advertisement, these are related to sales, so they are part of the profit and loss account. Then we have carriage outward. Now in trading account we saw carriage inward. Carriage inward is for purchase of goods and carriage outward is for sales of goods. And carriage outward is related to sales. That is why we are recording it in the profit and loss account. Then export duty. Export means sale only, sale to outside countries. So it is to be recorded in the profit and loss account as an office expense. Packing charges. Sometimes we are buying goods and then we do some packing and then we are selling these goods. So packing charges are again office expense related to sales. So we are charging to profit and loss account on the debit side. Then we have a conveyance. Conveyance and traveling expense, both are traveling. But conveyance is for local traveling, just as a bus fare, railway fare, auto fare, taxi fare. It is for local traveling, and traveling expense is for outstation. Okay, it is for a long journey, you can say. Then we have audit fees which we are paying to the auditors for getting the books audited. Then loading charges. Loading charges is a charges for loading of the goods. Whenever we are selling the goods, we may deliver the goods to others, and that time we have to pay the loading charges. Then entertainment expense, that is a normal expense. Then provident fund contribution. Now I may be discussing this afterwards, but what is provident fund contribution? It is a contribution of the employer towards the provident fund, because in case of provident fund, the employee is also contributing and employer is also contributing. So the contribution of the employer is known as provident fund contribution. Then repairs and renewals. Okay. Then next is loss by fire, loss by theft, loss by accident. This is on account of the adjustment. This is the one of the effect of the adjustment. Sales charges, then professional charges that we are paying for getting some professional services. Solicitors fees that we are paying to the solicitor for some legal advice. Loss on sale of asset, that is whenever we are selling some assets, if losses are incurring, that losses are to be recorded on the debit side of profit and loss account. And then ultimately the difference on the debit side is known as net profit, which we are transferring to partners capital or current account in the profit sharing ratio. So we may say net profit transferred to A's capital and B's capital, like that. Now on the credit side, as I told you, gross profit is appearing first, then the discount receipt formula I am going to discuss separately. Okay. Then we have this interest received, commission received, dividend received. These are the incomes. Dividend received is an income on the investment in the shares. Then bad debts recovered. Now here on the debit side we are having bad debts. Bad debt means the amount is not recoverable from the debtor, and that is why that amount is transferred to the bad debts. And bad debt recovered or bad debt recovery means the position of the debtor improves after writing off the amount to bad debts. So now there is no due from the debtor, but even though there is no due, he being an honest person, he makes the payment to us, and that is why it's a type of profit to us. So we are supposed to record as a bad debts recovery. Then interest on drawings, which is charged to the partners. So interest on drawing to partner A and partner B. Then profit on sale of assets. Whenever we are selling the asset, if suppose we are having some profit on that particular sale of asset, then we are reporting on the credit side. Rent received, and then net loss suffered by the business, that is transferred to partners capital or current account. In the profit sharing ratio, we may say capital of A and capital of B. Okay, so that is all about the profit and loss account. Okay, you have to remember all these items. The items which are appearing in the trading account and profit and account, they are confusing. So you have to classify these items as a direct expense and indirect expense. And here this profit and loss account debit side is also known as the office expense, and credit side is also known as office income. So factory expense, factory income. Office expense, office income. This classification you have to remember. Now we'll move to the next format. The next format is partners capital account. Now we'll see the trial balance. In trial balance, if suppose only the capital of the partner is given, it means the partners are following the firm is following fluctuating capital method. So whatever capital is given, that capital we are going to record, means we are preparing partners capital account, and then whatever capital will be given in the trial balance, that we will record on the credit side. And then all other entries we are going to record. This I have already explained in my second lecture, methods of capital account. Okay, so whenever we are passing entry on the credit side, the balance of the partner increases. Whenever we are passing entry on the debit side, the balance of the partner decreases. And there is one entry over here by cash and bank, that is capital introduced, and here to cash and bank capital withdrawn. These entries are not appearing when there is a final account, but it is only given for understanding purpose, because we did it in the second lecture while explaining the partners capital account. Okay, so they will not appear here in the final account, so all other are going to appear. And now suppose in the trial balance there is a presence of capital account and current account, then the balance of the capital account we are directly placing to the liability side of the balance sheet, and we are going to prepare the partners current account for our routine adjustments. So in current account we are doing our routine adjustments like balance brought down, interest on capital, commission, profit, that is share of profit. Okay, and on the debit side, drawings, interest on drawings, and share of loss. And then there are chances that in current account normally there is a credit balance in the trial balance. Sometimes it may have a debit balance. And whenever we are closing, normally we have a credit balance which we are going to transfer to balance sheet liability side. Sometimes we may have debit balance which we are going to transfer on the asset side of the balance sheet. So that is all about the capital accounts. Okay. Now we'll see the format of balance sheet. Now once again we are writing the name of the firm at the top, and our heading is balance sheet as on. It is a giving the financial position of business as on particular day. So here we are using as on. So this is the position of business as on particular day and not for the year ending. Okay, that's the difference between the trading account heading, profit and loss account debit, and the balance sheet heading. Now in balance sheet, on the left hand side we are having liabilities, and on the right hand side we are having assets. So assets are the debit balances and liabilities are the credit balances. But there is a custom to show the liabilities first. So on the left hand side we are showing the liabilities, and on the right hand side we are showing the assets. Now on the liability side, let us see. First we are showing the partners capital, capital of A and capital of B. This we will get from the capital account. And if suppose we are having a presence of current account there, we have opened a current account and the method is a fixed capital method, then in that case again we are going to show the balance of A and balance of B if both these partners they are having credit balance. And if these partners they are having debit balance, then we are showing on the asset side partners current account debit balance, that we are showing on the asset side. That's the difference that you have to remember in case of partners current account. Then our normal liabilities which are appearing here is general reserve and reserve fund. General reserve and reserve fund are the accumulated profits which belongs to the partner, and we have not distributed this profit, so it is separately shown here under the heading general reserve or reserve fund. So they are part of the liabilities. Then loans taken. Sometimes we borrow the funds from outsider. So whatever loans we have taken either from the banks or from the other parties, then we'll write the loans. Okay. Then creditors. Creditors are the persons to whom the amount is payable. So it's a type of liability to us. It is a current liability. And from creditors we are subtracting the formula RFDC, which I am going to explain in the adjustments. And then we have a bank overdraft. Sometimes our bank balance is negative, so that particular balance is known as bank overdraft. Okay. Then we have a bills payable, which is one of the liability. Provident fund. Now, as I told you previously, provident fund contribution is a contribution by the employer towards the provident fund. Now, what is Provident Fund? Provident Fund is the amount, it is a liability which belongs to the employees. So, whenever the employee retires, the company or the firm is supposed to make payment in lump sum. Okay, so that is known as a Provident Fund. Then outstanding expenses and incomes received in advance, these are the liabilities. Both these items are from the adjustments. Okay, and on the asset side, we are having a goodwill. Goodwill is an intangible asset. Then we have some fixed asset like land and building, plant and machinery, furniture and fixture, equipments, vehicles, premises. These are all fixed assets which are owned by the firm, and we have to charge depreciation if it is given in the problem. So if we are told to charge depreciation, we will write into the inner column, then we will deduct the depreciation, and then we are going to show to the outer column. Then you have a patent. Patent is again intangible asset. Then we have a loose tools. What are the loose tools? Loose tools are tools used for the repairing work. So the firm is having number of tools to repair the machinery and all that. So these are also known as assets. Then we have investment. Now suppose sometimes we are investing in debentures, we are investing in shares. So that is known as investment. And fixed deposit is also one type of investment. We are depositing our surplus amount in the banks as a fixed deposit. So these are all our assets. Then we have a Provident Fund investment. Now we saw one item on the liability side, Provident Fund. Provident Fund is a liability towards the employees. Whenever the employee retires, we are supposed to make payment in lump sum to the employee. But from where we'll get the money? So, because we may not face financial crisis for payment of Provident Fund, what we are doing? We are investing the amount from time to time into bank or some institutes, which is known as the Provident Fund. So whenever the employee retires, then this amount is withdrawn from that bank or from that institute, and then the amount is paid to the employee. So that is Provident Fund investment. Now there are 4 items related to Provident Fund. Provident Fund contribution goes to profit and loss account debit side. Provident Fund investment on the asset side. Provident Fund on the liability side, and interest on Provident Fund. It is, if it appears in the trial balance, then it is added to the Provident Fund because that interest is not our income. It belongs to the employees and should be added to the Provident Fund. Then we have our normal item is closing stock. Stock at the end of the year, which we are showing the second effect in the trading account. Then stock of stationery. Sometimes we are having a stock of stationery, that also we are showing it as an asset. Then we are having this formula of the debtors. Okay, so the formula of debtors I am going to discuss separately under the adjustments. Then we have bill receivable. Bill receivable is also one of the assets. Cash in hand, cash at bank. Okay, so whatever cash is there in hand in the business and whatever cash is there in the bank. Okay, and I have already discussed partners current account. Okay, partners current account, debit balance. Now you are supposed to remember this classification of trading account, profit and loss account, and balance sheet, so that you can solve the sum easily. You may not face any difficulties. It will be very convenient for you to solve the problem. So I am advising you to remember all these items. Unless you remember, no one is going to help you in the exam. Okay, so the best thing is you have to remember these items. Then only you can solve the problem. Okay, now what I am going to explain to you is, whenever we are solving the problem, before solving the problem, it is advisable to draw a blank format in the book. So whenever a problem is given to you and you are willing to solve the problem, before solving the problem, what you have to do? You have to draw a blank format in the books of account. Say for example, on the left pages, you take two pages, the left hand side page and the right hand side page. On the left hand side page, you open the trading account and profit and loss account. And on the right hand side, you open partners capital account and the balance sheet. Now, if suppose this is not suitable to you, then on one page you open the trading account, another page you open the profit and loss account, third page you open the partners capital account, and fourth page you open the balance sheet. You have to practice with the sheet, board sheet. In the board exam, another type of answer sheet is given to you. So you have to see that particular answer sheet and you have to practice in that answer sheet how you can do the final account in that. Okay. So how you can record these formats in the final account. Okay. Now let me tell you one thing. Whenever you are showing the trading account in that trading account, without looking in the problem, these are the items that you have to show. Opening stock. On the debit side, please write opening stock purchase minus purchase return. On the credit side, write sales minus sales return. So without looking into the sums, you please take down this. So whenever you will find that, then you will be placing that particular figure in the concerned column. Okay. In the profit and loss account, see the problem. If in a problem there is no adjustment of bad debts, then there is no need to write this particular formula. But 99% there is an adjustment of bad debts and RDD. In that case, you have to show this formula of the bad debts on the debit side of profit and loss account. The formula is bad debts as per trial balance, add new bad debts, add new reserve for doubtful debts, minus old reserve for doubtful debts. So this formula you write. So be prepared with the format before solving the problem with this format. In capital account, you will write partner A and partner B. This is the columnar method of maintaining capital account. We are not maintaining A's capital account and B's capital account. We are maintaining A capital and B capital. So column for A and column for B, and these particulars are the particulars are common. Okay. So by balance brought down, and at the end, whatever be the balance, you will get two balance carried down. In the balance sheet, the capital of the partners A and B, not necessary you have to write here also, you can also write later on, but better first you show the capital of A and capital of B. And if you are opening current account, then you write capital account of A and B, current account of A and B. Okay. And on the asset side, we are writing the formula of debtors less NBD less NRDD. But here you have to remember that if there are adjustments like unrecorded sales, okay, then that unrecorded sales will appear before the NBD and NRDD. So that time you have to see the problem and you have to find out that any adjustment which is going to affect the debtors, that adjustments we have to do first. Okay. And then you will write NBD, NRDD, and again this formula will be continued if there is a discount, reserve for discount on debtors. So all this you have to take care. You have to refer to the sum and then you have to take the decision. So this is the blank format which you have to prepare before solving the sum. Okay. I think now you might have understood it. Okay.